Hello! Happy New Year! Now we're officially in 2020. In Chinese, 2020 is pronounced as 2020, which is very similar to 爱你, 爱你, love you in Chinese. So, 2020 is love you year. I hope everyone has had a great New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and hopefully you're not too hangover. Although technically I think we're still at the end of the previous decade. The number has shifted from the teens to the 20s, so it does feel like a brand new decade ahead of us. I was thinking, what's the best video to make as the first video of the new year? And I thought, I should make a video that has nothing to do with dramas. So in this video, I want to introduce my viewers to a couple of entertainment shows produced in China that I watch, I like very much. In China, as well as in East Asian countries, there are so many different types of entertainment shows. Sometimes more creative, but sometimes also crazier than what you usually come across in the Western countries. Today, I want to introduce you to 3 of those entertainment shows I really like for very different reasons. And it might be actually a bit difficult for my usual audiences to get into any of them, because unfortunately they're not English subtitling anyway, and most of them you kind of really need to have a very good understanding of the language to actually be able to dive into it and enjoy it. But still, I think they are unique in their own ways that I really want to introduce them to the global audiences, to let people see what is going on in the entertainment program in China. Also for the purpose that just in case in the future, or maybe even now that you're picking up the language, you want to learn the language, you want to learn more about China's culture, and you want to find more interesting things to look at that might be actually more heavily information loaded, but not in the form of dramas. So the first one I want to introduce to you is the absolutely brilliant show called National Treasure, 国家宝藏. No, it's not Nicolas Cage films. This program is made by CCTV, the official television station of China. So when it really wants to do a high quality and kind of like we don't care how much budget we need to use, we just want to make it the best it can. 国家宝藏 National Treasure has 2 seasons already. This is an entertainment on stage show that introduce you to China's historical artifacts, the best, the most famous, real national treasures. In each episode, the show would pair up with a very prominent museum within China to exhibit one or a couple of extremely high profile and culturally very significant historical artifacts, ranging from textile, sculpture, painting, anything and everything you can think of that can be exhibited in a museum. This show takes a really nice format and create a very small script, usually acted within 10 to 15 minutes on stage with very prominent actors they invite to the show to kind of make up a story that would be believable and related to this historical artifacts. The actors and actresses this show have managed to pull on stage are the best of the best, and if you watch a lot of Chinese dramas, you will be super familiar with all of them, such as Wang Xueqi, Wang Kai, Tong Liya, Wu Lei, Liu Haoran. They've all been featured in this show. This is the previous life story of this artifact. They will then bring in contemporary professional people whose work are somehow related to this piece of artifact. So that would be this historical heritage's this lifetime story. This show is so cool because it also designed a beautiful stage, one of the most beautiful stage I've seen in recent years in any really entertainment shows. It's super high tech, and the artistic renderings and imageries and how it works with people on stage are some of the most innovative ones I've seen. They also write original themes and music for this show that is actually beautifully done. Original soundtrack plus songs with lyrics. It's pretty intense. I'll leave the link of this show in the description. Also, I'll link some clips that I'll highly recommend you to check out if you cannot really get into the whole thing. The first one is the 6th episode of season 2. The clip shows you the fashion show of traditional Chinese costumes. This show is done by a group of people who have been dedicating their life at recreating historically accurate costumes of different periods. For this show, it mainly focused on Tang Dynasty, and it showed various costumes from texture, material to color to makeup to hair, and it's so beautiful. And it's very different from a lot of the drama, the period drama style costume that you have seen if you've watched a lot of Chinese dramas. If you're interested in seeing what is the more historically accurate look of the Tang Dynasty people of China, I highly recommend you check out that clip and also that episode. So that's episode 6 of season 2. Then there's another one I highly recommend you to check out. It's the 8th episode of that season. Towards the end of that episode, there is a very detailed explanation of the Ming Dynasty empress attire and the officials' attire, their highest level of ceremonial clothing and what it means from the innermost layer to the outermost layer, what they represent and how they came to be historically being significant. Also, the people they invited to do the introduction to the audiences are the people that I've known for a long time. Some of them I've met in person, some I haven't. I first found them when they first founded their forum online. That was around 2007 and 8 because I was working on a drama and I was the researcher of historical costumes, and I happened to found this group of people. So I know the journey that they've taken from people who just have a passion of historical costumes, who all do other jobs in real life, come together, putting the right information out there that is totally different from, let's just say, drama style of costumes and trying to revive that historical heritage. They've been working at that for over a decade, and finally they are at a place where they are invited by the highest standard television station in China to do such a great program. I was so shocked to see these people being invited, and I was so moved. I was like, oh my god. It made me proud, although I have very little to do with what they've achieved. This episode is a special episode for me personally, and it also is very heavy information loaded. So if you want to really dig into the historical Chinese costumes, particularly of Ming Dynasty, that episode is a very good source of information. Then episode 10, the last episode of that season, I would also highly recommend you to check out. There's just great performances overall, beautiful songs, singing. There's also a section where the greatest musician in China playing historical Chinese music instruments that are just like blast you away, I promise you. There's also this dance that is so well loved on China's internet, especially I think among young people, called 纸扇书生, paper fan scholars of a group of absolutely good-looking and brilliant, like the best male dancers from Chinese Classic Dance Academy. The music is beautiful, and it's a group of young scholars with their fans and dancing in the most beautiful way. And their costumes are brilliant, the guys are super good-looking, and their dance is just so well choreographed and designed. If you like Chinese traditional period drama, costume drama, and good-looking young men in that, you have to see it. I'll link the one that you can see on YouTube. I'll also link one on Bilibili that has all the different versions of this dance, the full version, the sort of more edited version that you see in this show, and also their rehearsal in the rehearsal room in their dance academy, different versions. So good, worth your time. You will feel your time very well spent, and you probably will watch multiple different versions once you start it, I promise you. The second show I want to introduce to you is called 声临其境. Right now it's into its 3rd season. The English translation is called The Sound, which is very vague. Like, what do you mean, the sound? Even the voice, give you a better idea. Definitely it's singing, but the sound, what, random noises? No, this is not random noises. This is a dubbing show. In each episode, they will invite actors or actresses and who would be sitting in this room, and on stage you can only see their silhouette, so you wouldn't be able to tell who they are, and they will fake their voice so you can't quite tell who they are, and they would be dubbing their voice into different clips, and then the audiences will be trying to guess who that person is, and then they will pick the person they want to see most among the 4, and then they will invite that person on the stage. There will be some on-stage performances. If you've been in Chinese drama land for a while, you know it's a very prominent common thing in Chinese drama land, especially for period dramas. Often you will see characters being dubbed by professional voice dubber, voice actor or actresses for all kinds of different reasons. Sometimes this gets highly debated. People think this is a tradition that shouldn't continue. Sometimes it's actually really necessary. So this show is super interesting that you can watch actors, actresses who live dub their voice onto a particular clip, and you see how important actually that work is. And it's super entertaining. It's also sometimes extremely surprising that you probably know this actor, know this actress for a while, you have no idea they're that good at sculpturing their voice. They can literally sound like totally different people. For previous seasons, so many people have already joined, such as Zhu Yawen, Liu Yijun. They're very familiar faces to you. Di Li Reba. This season, the last episode was really intense, and I had no idea that these people are actually that good, such as Jia Nailiang, Qin Junjie. I was totally blown away by these two guys, because I know they're good actors, but I have no idea that their voice acting is that good. Wow, so talented. So if you're curious about voice dubbing, how it works in China, and discovering the side of the actors and actresses you've never imagined they have, this is a great show. I know, no subtitles, and it's all in Chinese. I guess if you're a fan of any of those people, you might be able to sit through it just to watch their performance. I think it's the only show like that, at least I've seen anywhere in the world. Because of its uniqueness, it deserves a place in anybody's recommendation list. The third show I want to introduce you to is a show that if you don't have a very fluent ability in Chinese, you literally can't enjoy. I mean, even for Chinese people, it's not easy, which is called 奇葩说. The first 4 seasons was called You Can UBB, and now the 5th and the 6th season, which is 6th season is currently still ongoing, has been changed to I Can IBB. So BB is just very colloquial language right now in China. That means somebody who just talks a lot. Blah, 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 blah. So that's BB. It sounds very, very casual. And that's true because this is a debate show that is super casual. It's a combination of entertainment heavy show with quite serious debate. So it's not like a proper debate that you have 2 teams. You have first person speaking on this team, and then the other first person, and second, and then you have third, and you have the final sort of sum up, and then there's a panel, there are judges. In this show, it still has 2 teams siding opposite sides, but it also has a lot of entertainment element added into it. And even in the delivery of those people's debate, they tend to use lighter, funnier terms and structures. It's not always hinges on logic and quick-mindedness. Sometimes it hinges on jokes, on how many punchline you can pull and how funny people can be. And there's an audience sitting there voting for the sides. So eventually who wins out depending on how many votes that each team has managed to sway on their side, compared to right at the beginning before they even started speaking, the audience is voting. I think it's a very intelligent and stimulating way of putting certain topics out there for people to think it through. Although some of the topics I think in older seasons are more daring, sharper, more focused on very, very difficult and debatable social issues, whereas the recent seasons are being more and more mild and tamed, probably because censorship, right, is getting stricter and certain topics are just like no-go zone, and also the show is getting bigger. More and more people are aware that 奇葩说 exists, so they are more cautious. It's kind of like losing a bit edge over the years, but as an entertainment show itself, it's super enjoyable. It has created some stars in the debate realm. It has managed to push a couple of people off their career. Before they enter the show, they are nobody. They're not actors, they're not singers, they have nothing to do with entertainment business. Because of their great performances on this debate show, they now host their own shows, they now become judges at other shows, they become a public figure, they have huge followings online, and all in all, I think this show has done something really great. For me to recommend it to you, it's very hard for anyone who does not speak Chinese to understand what the heck people are talking about in the show. I guess if you have studied Chinese and you want to improve your Chinese to the most kind of fluent level possible in conversation, this is probably the best entertainment show you can watch to just practice how fast you can follow people's speech and then how fast you can follow their logic in a language that's different from your native language. So these are the 3 entertainment shows that I really like and I watch every episode, and I would recommend my viewers to check out, even if you can't understand them fully, just to see the variety of stuff that are out there. There are also many other entertainment shows that I really like coming from China. I didn't put them in this list for reasons such as it would be too hard for anyone who doesn't speak Chinese to understand what they are. At the very end, I still would say, please check out that dance clip. And thank you for joining me on the start of the year of Love You. Love you.